didn't want to go, I said, and I had something else going on too.
Councillor McMillan.
We're live, please. Thank you.
All right, we'll call the council meeting to order at 12 noon. Yeah, 12 noon. This time I'd ask everyone rise and Councillor Goss to read the blessing and land acknowledgement, please.
As we gather, we recognize that we're on Treaty 3 lands which are steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnerships with Indigenous people. We give thanks for the many blessings we enjoy in the city of Kenora. We seek wisdom in our minds, clearness in our thinking, truth in our speaking, and always love in our hearts, so that we may try always to unite the citizens of Kenora. Let these principles guide us in our decision making.
Thank you, Councillor Goss. Public information notices. As required under Notice Bylaw 144-2007, the public is advised of Council's intention to adopt the following at today's meeting. Authorize a budget amendment in the amount of $33,075 plus HST, of which $8,740 is to be funded through the parking meter reserves, and the balance of $24,335 plus total HST is to be funded through the Parkade Parking Rentals Reserve to upgrade the metered parking kiosk machine technology to EMV-enabled credit card transactions. Amend the procedural bylaw to incorporate recommended administrative changes. Authorize a budget amendment in the amount of $112,040 to be funded primarily through private sector donations for the purchase of Walter J. Phillips watercolor Norman Bay 1922. This time I'd ask any member of council if they wish to declare a pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof, pertaining to any items either on today's agenda or from a previous meeting or from a meeting at which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none, call for resolution number 1, please.
Thank you, Worship. Resolution number 1, moved by myself, second by Councillor McMillan, that the following minutes of the Council of the City of Kenora be adopted as circulated. Regular Council, June 21st, 2022. Special Council, June 10th, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Presentations and deputations, we have none. Call for resolution number 2, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I am moving resolution number 2, and it's seconded by Councillor McMillan, that approval be hereby given for the following additional item to be added to today's agenda: an application to the Ontario Trillium Foundation Community Investment Capital Grant.
I'm sorry?
I just had resolution 2.
Not yet. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So we're good? All right. Call the question then. All in favor?
Sorry.
Did you want?
Sorry, no, I got flipped around too. I apologize.
All right.
Start over.
So are we good?
This is only to accept the item.
Yes.
Yeah.
To bring it forward, and then we shall have discussion if warranted. All right. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Resolution 2A.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that Council approves an application to the Ontario Trillium Foundation, OTF, Community Investment Capital Grant in the amount of $140,000 to support further upgrades at Mcleod Park.
Any question or discussion?
If you would like, this is a new item, so if you would like Stace to explain.
Yeah, so with the submissions that we received to the tender, there was some prices that came in a little bit higher than what we would have thought. We were successful in negotiating some of those prices down. However, we thought it was best to take a portion of that project out and put it into phase 2, and this Trillium funding is related to that element.
All right, we'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 3.
Resolution number 3, your worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby accepts the monthly financial statements of the corporation of the City of Kenora at May 31st, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that mayor and council hereby accepts the proposal for renewal of the 2022-2023 municipal insurance program as presented by Westland Insurance Group and Intact Public Entities in the amount of $531,257 plus applicable taxes. Further, that council directs administration to explore cyber insurance and to present back options for coverage.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 5.
Resolution number 5, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan. That council hereby approves a budget amendment in the amount of $33,075 plus HST, of which $8,740 is to be funded through the parking meter reserves, and the balance of $24,335 plus total HST is to be funded through the parking rentals reserve to upgrade the metered parking kiosk machine technology to EMV-enabled credit card transactions. And further, that in accordance with Notice Bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend its 2022 capital budget at its July 19, 2022 meeting for this purpose. And further, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to amend the 2022 operating and capital budget for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 6, please.
So, yeah, thank you, Mayor. And, no, I don't have it.
Not 6, the original 6 goes first.
Okay, who's that?
That's me. Can I?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 6, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to adopt a new procedural bylaw which establishes the rules of order and procedures for council for the corporation of the City of Kenora, and further, that in accordance with Public Notice Bylaw 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend its procedural bylaw to incorporate amended changes, and further, that bylaw number 135-2020 be hereby repealed.
Councillor Smith?
So I'm bringing forward resolution number 6A, and it's the motion number 6 on today's agenda with respect to the adoption of a new procedural bylaw be amended to retain the deputy mayor rotation as currently exists in procedural bylaw number 135-2020, and to remove the August meeting series of meetings. And if I could just make some comments.
Please.
So I just want to speak briefly about the motion to remove the August meeting series, and it's almost like it's just a friendly amendment. And I think it is time now to amend the policy to include a break in the August meeting schedule to allow for council and staff vacation time. I really think it's time to support that. And one of the reasons that I thought about that was Adam's comment when he was leaving, and one of our directors when he was leaving made the comment that he was happy to be going to a municipality that took a break in the summer, because I guess it's quite onerous council meetings and getting prepared. So I respect that, so I hope that council will consider that it's to take that break, not only for council, for staff. So that's my only comment about the meeting series, but I'd like to speak about the deputy mayor rotation. Thank you, Mayor. So I bring this forward to ask that the deputy mayor rotation remain the same as it is, an 8-month deputy mayor rotation available to all councillors. And I want to make my case again, as I did at Committee of the Whole, that the newly elected council should be making this policy decision. And when developing policy, particularly HR policy, Council needs to be diligent in ensuring there is not systemic basis and/or discrimination inadvertently built into the policy, especially if the policy has the potential to negatively impact demographics that have traditionally been marginalized. I reiterate my argument at Committee of the Whole that young professionals with full-time jobs and young families, particularly women who still carry the majority of family home responsibilities, may find it onerous to take a 4 or 2-year rotation as a deputy mayor. The deputy mayor 8-month rotation is a succession plan, a training and development opportunity to develop and build the skills needed as mayor, and to determine if this is a role they would like to pursue. Being a councillor is a stepping stone to not only see if that role is attractive to them, but also provide the opportunity to grow into that role. All of us sitting around the table now, with the exception of one, have had that opportunity. Why would we deny it to a new council at a time when we should be encouraging and providing opportunities for young women, or young people, to participate in public life? 4 candidates have filed to run for council. 3 of them are young professionals, 2 of which are women. The 4th candidate is a professional and a person of color. That's what diversity looks like and should be supported. With all due respect, I find some irony in the fact that a councillor who strongly supports this policy change voiced concern at Committee of the Whole that as an incumbent, they would be disadvantaged if the policy was to appoint the deputy mayor position to the councillor with the most votes. Am I hearing a double standard? It is interesting to hear that the reason for this policy change is that in some members of council's opinion, there are councillors that cannot run a meeting. I could be guilty as charged. I have chaired a couple of meetings where I've given a new councillor the opportunity to speak more than once or to have an extra minute of time to express their thoughts. Am I guilty of allowing a councillor who likes to deliver impassioned speeches a couple of extra minutes of airtime? For sure. But it is just silly to enact major policy change with the potential for negative consequences based on that. That's not good governance. I mentioned previously that diversity on council should recognize and value different styles based on gender. The evidence supports that women may chair meetings differently. They tend to be more respectful about cutting others off. They tend to allow more opportunities for participants to express themselves. Enlightened and modern organizations acknowledge and celebrate that diversity and ensure their policies do not penalize that different behavior. Voters' number one expectation of their council is that they will be transparent and accountable, that council members are honest and they act and behave with integrity. As an example, constituents would be more concerned that a councillor would declare a conflict of interest before voting on a budget item that would provide them a financial benefit. That is the kind of behavior constituents are concerned with, not how their councillor conducts a meeting. The other reasons expressed to enact this policy change do not make sense either. For example, challenging the ability of any councillor to understand a new file in a short time is, in my opinion, disingenuous. And that there are difficult files that may need the attention of a mayor and a deputy mayor. Again, as I stated at COW, all members of council should have the same information at the same time. The main difference between the work of councillors and the mayor is that the mayor is the spokesperson for council. A full-time deputy mayor is not needed to support that mandate. Additionally, the mayor's position is compensated at twice the rate of councillors, $40,000 per year as opposed to $20,000 per year for those extra duties. We haven't discussed additional compensation for a district or deputy mayor position to assist the mayor in his duties. Would that mean the mayor would give up $5,000 to $10,000 of their salary for a deputy mayor? Or would it mean an additional financial pressure for taxpayers? This council has been called an old boys club. Women comprise just over half of the population, and yet in 2022 there is still only one woman on council. You have to ask the question, why is this the case in Kenora? I will suggest that policies like the one we are debating contribute to that imbalance. Whether you agree with this policy change or not, I would suggest it is not our decision to take. It is the right decision. If it is the right decision for the incoming council, they should be the ones to make that. I'd like to call for recorded vote on this resolution. Thanks.
Any comments?
So in order for this to be on the table, I need to second for the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I moved it and Councillor Van Wellingham seconded. My apologies, Heather.
Thank you, Councillor Swan.
Councillor McMillan.
Thank you, Your Worship. And thank you, Councillor Smith, for some of your comments. As of today's date, we have 3 vacancies on council. We will have 3 vacancies on council. And in hindsight and listening to the video from last week's council meeting, I'm not sure what further discussion may or may not take place today. I do feel that that a new council should have the opportunity to determine a deputy mayor position, whether it be short-term, whether it be long-term. And I know we do not have the right to tell or suggest or advise a new council what they should or shouldn't do. That's their decision. So I would be supportive of a new council making the decision on a deputy mayor. It does not change my feelings or thoughts in any way whatsoever on how I feel about a deputy mayor position, and I feel there is some value in having that deputy mayor position. On the other matter of no council meetings in August, I was a bit confused until I checked. I thought that it would be no council meetings this August, but it's in the procedural bylaw for the next term of council, I believe. Is that correct, Heather? But what I'd like to suggest, if it's workable with our clerk administrator and staff, that this coming August we have no meetings. And I'm only suggesting that from the fact that our clerk is directly involved with an election coming up. There's other issues going on, and as always, if there's ever a need for a special meeting, it could be called. That could be called, but I'm supportive of the change in the procedural bylaw with a break, and I'm just suggesting maybe this month might be an appropriate time.
Okay,
And I'll just leave
that's
that.
totally separate from
Yes.
what we're dealing with, so
Yeah.
we're not even going to discuss that.
Okay, thank you.
Can you take the chair, please?
Certainly.
Okay. I think I can speak regarding the deputy mayor only because it impacted me the most over my 4 years as the mayor. This said, I don't like when you use the word disingenuous because that makes a suggestion that we're not being honest and upfront. Everybody was totally honest in their discussions last week. It goes far beyond 2 meetings a month. And, the electorate last time chose 2 women on council, not 1. There was 2 because of work commitments and life's changing life. The opportunity took away a young female. So I don't believe it's got anything to do with whether you're young, whether you're female, whether you're whatever. I just firmly believe that it's important that you have strong leadership right across. And my experience is not, as George Orwell said, not all animals are created equal. There are some people that are very strong, and I think council would be much better off if we had a full-time deputy mayor. I believe, and so because of that, as much as I respect your thoughts, and obviously you put a lot of time and effort into what you believe, but that's the beauty of council. We'll both disagree and we'll be fine when we're done, regardless of the decision. So I just wanted to restate that it goes far beyond the 2 meetings, and in my experience, it would have helped invaluable to have a full-time deputy mayor. So if there's no more questions, I'm sorry, or comments?
I just had a quick comment. Thank you, Your Worship. I wasn't able to be at the committee of the whole last week to provide comment, so I just wanted to just say a few minor things. First, thank you, Councillor Smith, for your remarks. I mean, I fully agree that we need more female representation on council, more minorities. Really, fresh, younger people. So I really do appreciate where you're coming from. But Your Worship, I agree with you as well that the role of a deputy mayor is really to support the mayor, to really push forward an agenda and a strategy. And the amendment that was proposed to this procedural bylaw, I think, is an effective way of doing that. In terms of calling for this vote, which I respect why you're doing that, I just want to make it very clear that, I fully support more women here, but really the point is to have the right person fill that role so that the city's business can move forward as efficiently as possible and as productively as possible. And I believe that this change in sort of the status quo of a rotating deputy mayor would be really effective at ensuring that takes place for the next term of council. So I just wanted to explain why I'm going to vote, how I'm going to vote on this issue, and just lay it all out there. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Poirier.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Raynard. So at the committee of the whole on that, and I agree with Mayor Raynard in that, because I've been in this seat for 3 terms, and I've watched councils evolve, but I've also watched how complicated things have become. This isn't the year 2000, this isn't 1990, this is today. The demands of the mayor are great, and as I've always said before, in that if people want someone to be in here 7 days a week, they're going to have to pay for it. That's the reality. Having said that, if people, whatever they vote for the deputy mayor and that, but I think what's lost in this conversation, and I think the mayor brought it up, just having an 8-month rotation for the sake of having an 8-month rotation, I'm sorry, if that's our plan for succession planning, we're in trouble. Like you need more meat on the bones, you need more skin in the game, whatever you want to call it. That's not going to cut it, not chairing a couple in-camera meetings and that. What we need for a deputy mayor, and whatever the rotation would be, because I'm still not sure how I'm going to vote on this amendment. We need to sit down as a council and decide what responsibilities go with that deputy mayor, except for the title deputy mayor and doing the things that we do now. And that lends a hand to whoever's sitting in that chair. It's not about us today. It's about moving forward, whoever's in that chair next term and the term after. Because we are heading in a direction where we are going to probably have to have a deputy mayor on staff, and there's many ways. I can give you many ways to pay for it without impacting the ratepayers. I'll find the $10,000 or $15,000 in the budget myself. So I just want you to know in that I respect your comments and that, but it was never set up to discriminate against anybody in that. It never was. It was a starting point, but I think at some point in the future, we need to look at this seriously and what's best for council. So those are my comments.
Councillor Goss.
And I'll concur particularly with the comments of Councillor Chase. The work of the deputy mayor is to advance the business of council. But to address Councillor Smith's comments about an old boys club, I can assure you that great hilarity would ensue if I was to be characterized as part of if anyone who knows me and knows how I've lived in this community for 60-something years knows full well that I am no member of any old boys club. Far from it.
All right, so do you,
I'm ready to call if they're ready to call for the vote.
all right,
We would be
Which one?
voting on Councillor Smith's motion,
Smith,
correct?
yes.
Yes.
All right.
So
Should,
again, you're right now, I'm going to call for a recorded vote on 6A, which is to retain the deputy mayor rotation as currently exists in the procedural bylaw 135/2020 and remove the August series of meetings. Councillor Shays.
Nay.
Councillor Goss.
Nay.
Councillor McMillan.
yay.
Councillor Poirier.
Yay.
Councillor Smith.
Yay.
Counselor Van Wallingham,
Yay.
Mayor Raynard,
Nay.
motion is carried. I'll ask Counselor Smith to now read the new 6 as amended.
So this one I can just,
Yeah, that's not good, so you just don't sign it.
yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone for the support around the table, and I appreciate all the comments that were made, and I respect them. Thank you. So, Resolution 6 as amended, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Wallingham, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to adopt a new procedural bylaw, which establishes the rules of orders and procedures for council for the Corporation of the City of Kenora, which includes the retention of the 8-month rotation for the deputy mayor position, removal of August meeting series, removal of proxy voting, and other minor amendments directed by council at the July 12, 2022 meeting, and further, that in accordance with Public Notices Bylaw 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend its procedural bylaw to incorporate recommended changes, and further, that bylaw number 135-2020 be hereby repealed.
Counselor Rossi.
I would like to make a correction on my vote. I had assumed, and I made it mistakenly, I thought I was voting on this motion. I was in favor of the first motion.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure that-
Counselor Goss, I'm not sure what you're asking.
I'll proceed with this vote.
Okay, because the amendment was accepted by council,
Correct.
And that's
And
what
that's fine.
she read.
so that's already,
Yep.
it's already been voted on.
No, 6A is to introduce
Okay.
the amendment, and 6 as amended is the amendment.
We don't get these very often, it's very.
Thank you.
All right, so we voted on the introduction, and now we're gonna vote on the actual resolution.
Yep, that's the
Alright.
resolution,
Okay.
6 now.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is passed as amended. So that will bring us to resolution number 7, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move resolution number 7, and it's seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby directs administration to opt in and provide blue box curbside collection services for single-family residences, multi-family residences, long-term care homes, retirement homes and schools, as contractor to Circular Materials Ontario, or CMO, for the transition period from July 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 8.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby approves a budget amendment in the amount of $112,040 to be funded primarily through private sector donations for the purchase of the Walter J. Phillips watercolor Norman Bay 1922, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend the Douglas Family Arts Center 2022 capital budget at its July 19th, 2022 meeting for this purpose, and further, the council give 3 readings to a bylaw to amend the Douglas Family Arts Center 2022 capital budget for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 9.
Resolution number 9, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Shays, that Council of the City of Kenora approves an application by the Muse to Community Museum Operating Grant to assist with operational expenses at the Lake of the Woods Museum.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 10.
Resolution number 10, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Wallingham, that council hereby approves an application to the Museum Assistance Program to the Department of Canadian Heritage for the Recovery Fund for heritage organizations to assist with operating expenses for the Lake of the Woods Museum as a result of COVID.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 11.
Resolution number 11, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council authorizes the mayor and clerk to enter into an extended lease agreement between the corporation of the city of Kenora and William W. Crichton Youth Services for the term ending March 31st, 2023 for the municipal property located at 243 Rabbit Lake Road, legally described as part of Plan KR 810, being part of Part 1 of Parcel 25003, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 12.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 12, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby approves amendments to bylaw 189-2020 and bylaw 78-2016 as amended to bring the bylaws into compliance with changes required by Bill 109, the More Homes for Everyone Act 2022, and implement additional minor updates, and further that bylaw number 189-2010 and bylaw number 78-2016 be hereby repealed, and further that council gives 3 readings to a new site plan control bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 13.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 13, and it's seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council gives 3 readings to bylaw to open up and establish a public highway of the corporation of the city of Kenora, and further that the consent of the Minister of Transportation, the Minister, to such opening is required pursuant to subsection 24.3 of the Public Transportation and Highway Improvement Act, SRO 1990, Clause 50, and further that the following lands as identified in Schedule A described as 10 meters east, 1 meter north, 10 meters west, and 1 meter south of property legally described as Part Lot 26, Plan M133, and Part 123R, 11889 Kenora, being a portion of PIN 421802505, and established as a road bearing no name, and further that the mayor and clerk be hereby authorized and directed to take such action and execute such documents under the corporate seal of the corporation where required, as may be necessary and expedient to give effect to this bylaw.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 14.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the corporation of the city of Kenora and the Ontario Business Improvement Area Association for the Digital Service Squad program, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute these agreements.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 15.
Resolution number 15, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that the mayor and clerk of the city of Kenora be authorized to execute a private road agreement between the city of Kenora and 2839441 Ontario Inc., and further that the appropriate bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 16.
Resolution number 16, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that the mayor and clerk be hereby authorized to execute the following agreements on behalf of the corporation of the city of Kenora. Bear Integrated Solutions, Inc., Fire Master Plan. FedNor, Harborfront Business Plan Funding Amendment. NOHFC, Norman Park Playground, and further the 3 readings be given to bylaws for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 17.
Resolution number 17, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the following bylaws be now read a first and second time and approved in their present form and presented for 3rd and final reading. Number 100, 2022, confirmatory. Number 101, 2022, budget amendment, parking meter kiosks, software upgrades. Number 103, 2022, budget amendment, purchase of Walter J. Phillips watercolor. Number 104, 2022, Crichton Youth Center lease extension, 243 Rabbit Lake Road. Number 105, 2022, adoption of site plan control bylaw. Number 106-2022, open and establish a public highway, Dufresne Island North. Number 107-2022, NWBC agreement, Ontario Business Improvement Area Association. Number 108-2022, private road agreement, 283-9441, Ontario Inc. Number 109-2022, Bear Integrated Solutions Incorporated Agreement, Fire Master Plan. Number 110-2022, FedNor Budget Funding Amendment, Harborfront Business Plan. And number 111-2022, NOHSC Funding Agreement, Norman Park Playground.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Seems like those ones have fallen on you a lot lately, Councillor Van Warren.
I was thinking the same
I did
thing.
last month.
Somebody doesn't like me.
We just get here before you.
Your worship, will ask that the member of council has resolution number 18 adds as amended to the resolution as the motion 6A amends that bylaw.
That'll be Councillor.
I have it here. So, and it's,
Adoption of new procedural bylaw, comma, as amended. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 18, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that the following bylaw be now read a first and second time and approved in its present form and presented for third and final reading. Number 102-2022, adoption of a new procedural bylaw as amended.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Do I need to introduce? We have no notices of motion, we have no proclamations, so we'll do our announcements, and I'll start with Kyle, please.
Sure, thanks so much, Your Worship. So just a bit of good news today. I just did want to publicly announce that the city has hired Ryan Marsh as the city's new Director of Finance. Ryan's a certified professional accountant. The city worked closely with an external recruitment firm, and we attracted high-quality candidates from across the country on this search. We sought a candidate who was strategic, innovative, and collaborative, and Ryan brings a progressive vision to the department that will aid the city in modernizing its financial services. Ryan joins us from the city of Winnipeg, where he spent 20 years of experience, with 15 years of experience in a financial setting. And Ryan and his family have deep roots here in the community, and he is very eager to give back to the city and be part of our future growth and success. And when one door opens, one door closes, so we don't have to go around the table and say all sorts of nice things about her just yet, but with Ryan's arrival, that does mean that after 21 plus years with the city of Kenora, Charlotte will be retiring from the city in early 2023, and so we wish her all the best, and we will, I promise, come back and go around the table and say many nice things about her when we get closer to, but want to thank Charlotte, because it's through Charlotte's hard work and dedication that the city is in a strong financial position, and so I just want to wish her and her husband all the best in their retirement. And welcome Ryan aboard, we're really excited to have him.
Right, we'll go around the table, start with Councillor Smith.
I have nothing today, Mayor, thanks.
Councillor Goss.
I have nothing today.
Councillor Van Wallingham.
Nothing today, thanks.
Councillor McMillan.
I have nothing, thank you.
Councillor Chase.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Poirier.
Nothing, Your Worship.
All right, then we shall call for resolution number 19.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution 19, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that this meeting now be declared closed at 12:38 p.m.
All in favor?